Okay, guys, so today we're going to work on something that's exactly what we did yesterday, but like I said, it's kind of on steroids. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it's taking everything we've talked about with PEMDAS, but then we're ratcheting it up into a higher level. Because there are many times that you have parentheses and there's just multiple steps into a problem. And the whole thing is of using PEMDAS is you're taking, instead of doing 4 plus 2 is 6, and then adding 6 plus whatever, then you're putting in a one long sentence, so to speak. And so then you're doing all operations in one sentence. Okay, so what we're going to be working with is we're going to be talking about 7.5, and this is still going to be your PEMDAS, okay? This is still what we call order of operation. Okay? I do want you to be writing in your in your notebook, because we are taking notes. Okay? We'll do some notes. Definitely we'll get into our workbook, not a shadow of a doubt. This is going to be a little bit lengthy because there is a lot of, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? But you must remember your order. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Again, remembering my multiplication and division and my addition and subtraction are grouped. And if you want to think of the or, whatever comes first come, first solve between the two of them. Okay, so please make sure you understand that. Okay? So for instance, let's do our first problem. Sorry. You know what? Sorry about that. Let me just rewrite. It's a bracket. Excited? Okay, so this is huge. I'm sorry about that. So what this is saying is, this bracket, dare I say, is another way of writing this same thing. So this is another way of writing this exact same equation. Pardon me. If I were to write the same equation, let me rewrite it like this. 1 plus, and I said 2 plus 16 times 8. Okay? And then I do divided by 5. So I want to solve all this first before I divide it by 5. So instead of doing it like this and having 2 sets of parentheses, they went ahead and made this more of a defining difference in the way it looks. So it's saying, hey, everything must be handled in the brackets before you can move out. Sometimes you'll even see questions like this. So see how that kind of looks silly with 2 parentheses? Well, they don't do that anymore, and that's why they use the brackets. So the brackets are just a second set of parentheses, so to speak. Okay? So just like before, you have to use your PEMDAS. Well, what comes first? My parentheses. Miss White, I have 2 sets of parentheses. Yes, you do. Here's your first set, and here's your second set. Okay? Your first set and your second set. So you're going to do your first set first. This is going to be your 2 plus 16. That's going to give you 18. I haven't touched anything else inside my second set of parentheses, so I'm going to bring it down. If you want to keep it as your bracket, you can. I've not touched anything else. So within there, within there, now I've still not dissolved this, so this still has to be dissolved. So what comes next? Well, I've got addition and multiplication. Multiplication and addition, what comes first? Multiplication. So I'm going to do this problem first. 18 times 8, 64, carry, 144 plus 1 is still inside my bracket. I haven't been able to dissolve it. So now in order for this to go, now I must do this. That gets me 145 divided by 5. Okay, sorry if you can't see my little division symbol. Okay, so 145 divided by 5 goes in there twice, 10, 45, it goes in there 9. Again, I know that's a hard problem. I want you to write it down. Stop, pause, rewind. We're going to do a couple of more. Okay? Again, it's probably not the best one because it did start off and from 144, 145. We don't know our divisibility. I mean, we should know our divisibility rules. You should have known the moment I got 145. Bam! That's divisible by 5 because it ends in a 5. Okay? So we're going to continue on working on another problem. Okay. Next problem we're going to do so again, instead of doing another parentheses right here, they do the bracket right there. So again, it doesn't look so kind of weird. Okay? All right. So again, going back to your PEMDAS, please excuse, my dear Aunt Sally. Just please excuse her. Okay? So what am I going to do first? Parentheses. Well, again, we have two sets. This is my set, and here is a set. You need to do your inside set first. Okay? You need to do inside set before you can dissolve these. Okay? So working inside out. So again, whatever is in here, so this is going to be 2 times 4 is 8. Still bringing down what I have not touched yet. Have not touched. Okay? So again, these are seen as parentheses. So I still cannot go on to my E. I have yet to go to my E. I know we don't do E, or even my multiply. I'm still not done with all of my parentheses. So now I'm still here. So it's 6 plus 8 is it's going to be 14, bringing down. So once I've solved that, that is absolutely now moved away. So now I just simply have one operation. That's 17. Okay? All right. Next one, a little bit harder. All right, let's do this one. This one's going to have multiple steps in here. So here's a bracket. Then I'm going to have a second bracket. Okay? So again, now, this one you're just going to have to kind of work simultaneously and then end up going down and simplifying. Again, on your instructions, it's going to say simplify the numerical expression. That's what you're going to do. You're simplifying these. Okay? All right, so my first one I'm going to do inside first. So again, this is my parentheses. I've got a parentheses inside. So inside. So 3 minus 2, and that's 1. Whoa, Miss White, that's 2. Bringing down what I haven't used. Again, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so now again, I have to disappear these or make these disappear. Well, I have to do this in whatever is here. So again, it doesn't matter. You're using this simultaneously. 5 times 2 is 10. Not quite used my addition sign yet, but 3 minus 2 is 1. I've left with one simple operation. That's 10 plus 1 is 11. Okay? Now, so at this point, what I want you to do is I want you to turn to your math workbook, and I want you to turn to 316, page 316, again, page 316. We're going to look at question number 1. I'm going to go ahead and write it down as you're turning there. Okay. Okay, here we go. So, again, doing this before, looking at this, thinking of PEMDAS. Please excuse, oh, my dear Aunt Sally. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Again, it's first come, first serve. Or first come, first solve, I should say. Put or. That's what I wrote. You can't see it. I wrote really small, but I wrote the word or. All right, so I've got a bracket. So I got to focus on what's inside the bracket. Well, guess what? I still have parentheses inside of my bracket. So it doesn't matter which one you do first. It truly doesn't matter. Okay? So I'm going to take this one. 15 minus 5 is 10. Bring down this. Go ahead and solve this. What's 9 minus 3? That's 6. Again, my bracket. I haven't gotten rid of my bracket yet. I can bring my 12 plus. Okay? So now I bring this down. 10 plus 6 is 16 because that's still parentheses. Bring this down because I haven't used it, and I'm simply going to add. My answer is 28. Okay? Number 2. Again, you're seeing these in here. I don't think there's going to be enough room on your in your book. You can try. That's not a problem. When you get onto your gold pages, absolutely not a question. You have to use notebook paper. There we go. So again, going on this, working toward it. So again, please, is my parentheses. I've got parentheses in here, and I also have my big bracket. So again, doing these simultaneously, which means at the same time. 26 minus 4 is going to be 22. Bringing down the subtraction because I have not used it. 4 plus 6 is 10. Here's my bracket. Okay, now how am I going to get my bracket to dissolve? I have to do this. 22 minus 10 is going to be 12. Bringing down what I have not used before. 5 times 12 is 60. Again, simplifying my numerical expressions is what it says. Okay, it says simplify the numeric expression. Okay, I want you to try number 3 by yourself as I'm writing this. Okay, again, parentheses first. Well, guess what? I have a second set of parentheses. Okay. Second set of parentheses. So I've got, that should be right up there. So I'm going to do this. 18 minus 10 is 8. Bringing down my subtraction sign. 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, now I'm going to subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. Bringing down what I have not used. Therefore, leaving me with 36 divided by 6 is 6. Okay? So at this point, we're going to move on to page 318. Please turn to 318. We're going to work through these word problems together so you're able to go along and you're able to do these before your gold pages. 318. Okay, so we're going to look at 318. Look at number 8. So this is where all of that comes together, where you're looking at these word problems. They're going to have multiple steps. I know this is scary, but this is where we were talking about the vocabulary the other day, using what you know, using what they tell you to, looking at them, seeing the word is, of, each, divided, equally. All those things are going to help you when you're trying to figure out your expression. Okay? So right here it says a gift shop has 500 colored pencils. The shop sold 3 sets of 20. What do you say? How about 3 of 20? 3 of 20. 6 sets of 12. 6 sets of 12. Sorry. And 10 sets of 18. 10 sets of 18. So I already know, just because of vocabulary like that, I already know that those are going to be multiplied together, simply because of the word of. Again, perfect. Okay? Which expression shows how many colored pencils are left? So right there, when you're talking about left, that means left over. So there's going to be some kind of what in there? It's a division problem. Excuse me, that would be a subtraction problem. Okay? So when you're looking at this, you want to think to yourself, okay, a gift shop had 500 pencils. They sold this, they sold this, they sold this. They want to know how much is left. So you're subtracting. Now, looking at these, look at the difference between, well, we automatically know C is not correct because it has an addition sign. So if you look at A, B, and C, the subtraction is in 2 different places. What this is saying is, if you're talking about A, you're telling me that all of these numbers added together is going to be greater than 500 because that means I need to take a larger number minus 500. Did I have more than 500? I did not. So that's why A cannot be it, because my answer must be, or excuse me, my total, which is my 500 color pencils, is the largest number. It's not getting over 500. So now we're back at B and D. Okay? I want you to look at B and D and see which one, looking at what the work that we did up here, what is going to be sufficient. And again, it's going to be D. And why is it going to be D? Because up here we use the vocabulary 3 sets of 20. This is not 3 of 20. You're telling me 20 adding 6. That's not what's happening. This is 3 of 20 and 6 of 12 and 10 of 18. And that's exactly what we have here, 10 of 18. Again, just simply the multiplication vocabulary is huge here. Again, we could have done this, and we've done this in let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've done this in 5 problems. We multiplied, took all those, we added, which is here, and then we subtracted from this. Whereas they did it in one step. One numerical expression did all of our work. Because that's what we'd have done. We've done this, then this, and this, add that all together, then get this total and subtract it from 500. That's 5 problems where we did it one here. All right, number 9. Anaya buys 8 oranges every Monday morning at the farmer's market. She gives 6 away and eats the rest. Every Friday she buys 6 oranges and gives 5 away and eats the rest. Simplify the expression. Okay, what? Well, my question is, where did you get the 52? Well, ladies and gentlemen, 52 weeks out of a year. So, simplify the expression, find the number of oranges she eats each year. So, 52 weeks. So, every Friday she buys 6 oranges and gives 5 away. Oh, excuse me, right here. She buys 8 and then gives 6 away. Then she also buys 6 and then gives 5 away. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to rewrite it right here. It's already written for me. I'm going to work underneath it. Again, PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses. I have 2 sets of parentheses, so I'm going to do this one first. 8 minus 6 is 2. And there's no reason I can't do this one either. I'm going to bring this down because I have not touched it. 6 minus 5 is 1. Just reassessing and simplifying. Okay. So here, I still have this bracket, so therefore I got to work this out. 2 plus 1 is 3, leaving me with the multiplication problem of 52 times 3. Well, I can look here just like this. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15, giving me 156. Oh, heavens, so sorry. All right, number 10. A company can produce 300 ballpoint pens or 550 gel pens each hour. Each workday, the company produces ballpoint pens for 5 hours and gel pens for 8. How many pens does the company produce in 5 weekdays? Okay. So again, I've got 2 things going on. So ballpoint pens, 300. Okay. And they're doing for 5 hours. So the company produces ballpoint pens for 5 hours. And then 550 gel pens for 8 hours. So how many pens can the company, so I would add these together, how many pens can the company produce in 5 days? So these are 2 separate things, ballpoint, gel, adding them together. Then finally the nail in the coffin here is 5 days. So that means I would bracket this and multiply it by 5 days. Okay? All right, very easy. You can do this multiplication here. Again, parentheses, I got to do my inside first before I go my out. 5 times 3 is 15, adding 2 zeros. Here this is a little bit different, so I could do 550 times 8, that's 0. 40, carry my 4, 44. Plus 44, this is my bracket, times 5. Okay, so I'm going to add it. So, a little room here. So there's my 9 and my 5. Okay, times 5. Okay? So now I have this 5,900. Multiply that, take the zeros off. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry my 4. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 4 is 29. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, comma. Guess what? So again, yes, could you have done it differently and done 300 times 5 and then done it over here and this, that, and one? Yes. But my goal to you is I wanted you to show you how you can make that entire problem into one numerical expression. One numerical expression. You're going to have to be able to do that today. All right, so which expression has the value of 4 on number 11? Again, I want you to solve it. Solve all of them. You're going to be working over here. Okay, I want you to solve letter A. Okay, so on this problem right here, if you notice, every single one of them has a 4 times, except D, times a 5, then adding 9, 7, and then 9. So what's going to happen is that when you solve A, you're going to get 45, because no matter what, 4 times 5 goes first, and that's 20. 9 plus 7 is 16. Add those, it's 36. So each of these is going to be 36. Okay, so you take this just like this. This is the main root problem. Okay, 20 plus 16, that's bracketed, and then something with your 9. So 20 plus 16 is 36, something, and then 9. Well, what's going to get me 4? And that's going to be a division sign. Which brings me to my B. Now, brings me looking at this, C can't be it, because I can't do, this would be 20 minus 16, and that's absolutely not going to be right. And then you're adding. So this would be 9 plus 16, bracket, that's 25 minus 9. Okay, so again, B. So pay attention to what these things are saying. This is going to get you a really small number. This is going to get you a really, really large number when you're multiplying. Multiplying gets you the largest number the fastest. Division gets you the smallest number the fastest. So remember that when you're solving these. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and look at your gold pages. So I'm asking that you're using notebook paper when you're solving these, because there's no way that you can do these in your head. Okay? So let's look at number 1 together. Number 1, 14 plus a bracket, oops, excuse me, closed bracket. Okay, so again, PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, parentheses, inside the parentheses. 2 times 5 is 10. Bringing down my plus sign. 3 times 8 is 24. Bringing down everything else. Okay, so now I still have to get rid of my brackets, so therefore I'm still going to add them. Okay, I'm going to add them, so that's going to give me 34 plus 14. 4 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 3 is 4. So my answer is 48. Okay, looking at the number 2 problem, 5 times bracket, okay, solving within my parentheses first. 8 plus 2 is 10, bringing this down. And 16 minus 9 is 7. Okay, getting rid of my brackets. 10 minus 7 is 3, bringing down my 5. Therefore, 3 times 5 is 15. My answer is 15. You will complete all of this. I do want you to notice that number 11 and 12, you are writing an equation. Okay, I want you to think about what it's saying. So if we were to look at number 11, Fred's Cars dealership has a 3-4 parking lot, so 1, 2, 3. Each floor has 3 rows of 5. 3 rows of 5, so I know that's 3 of 5. 4 rows of 8. 3 rows of 8. Write the expression that you can use to find the number of cars in Fred's garage. So I have compact car sedans, and I have that in every single floor. So I would find a total. So again, it says write an expression you can use to find the number and then simplify it. Simplify the expression is a fancy word for saying answer the problem. So I gave you that. Using this here, same thing here. Pay attention to what it's saying here. Okay? 3 of 8. He buys 3 more sets of large. So 3 more sets, 3 of 6. Pay attention, your vocabulary. So there's 2 parts. You're going to write an equation, then your answer. Write an equation, and then simplify and find your answer. And then you also have 6 problems on the back as well. So all of this needs to be done, turned in, and returned into the file folder.